Hello?
Hey girl.
You guys will not believe this.
No, I don't want to touch on.
Told you guys I fall in love fast.
The look on your face, and you're like, ooh,
Very healthy to have female friendships.
and completely
Yeah, I do want to get married
ghost
again.
me
And I
on
love
this
that
effing
So funny that
island.
balance
Still
of
desire
I
to
think
get
have this
married.
scene where
Or
they're
feel like
really
get rid of
having
toxic
Wasn't
people
ever
who
really
live
in
in it.
pain and part of it.
Welcome back.
It's a three-way call.
With Britt Fallon Star. Hi, ladies.
Hello, hello.
How are
Oh,
we all doing?
feeling good.
Good and busy. It's been a great day, crazy day. But I'm happy to be here with y'all. So,
Oh, I went and got all my nether regions zapped again today.
Oh, yeah. Tell us, how many more do you have left?
Two.
Okay,
okay.
'cause my girlfriend was asking me, actually, side note, at work the other day, we were all talking about like laser hair removal, and my girlfriend was like, nope, nope, like it doesn't work, like blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, we hear that all the time. But I was like, my girlfriend and I, went to this farmer's market or whatever it was. And then we started talking to these women that work at this place, and they swear up and down that, no hair is going to be popping back out. And I said, last time I checked with my girlfriend, she said she only had a few sessions left, but there were some hairs that she wanted to make sure that were going to be gone. And so my other girlfriend that I was talking to was like, "Well, keep me posted because if it works for her." And told her, I'm like, "Trust me, if it works for her," I was like, "Star and I are going to be doing it too." I was like, "I'll let you
Mhm.
know." So, yeah, so tell us.
Yeah. Okay. So the last, I think, three times, they do like a double pass, I guess you would call it. So they go over it twice in the
Ooh.
areas that you're allowed to. You can't go over it like on like the, will I just say stuff on here? In the
Yeah.
labia, like they're not overpassing like the labia or like up the crack or anything like that. So just like the
Okay.
top part, they do it everything once and then they come back at the end and do it again.
Mm.
It is rough, guys.
Ooh, and you said
Like,
it's all the last three times.
Yeah, I
yeah.
was gonna say, so it's not every time, it's just the last three times they've been doing the
Yeah,
double.
like as it gets closer, they just give it a little bit more zhuzh, but and they also get like progressively more intense anyway, I guess. Like they turn it up higher and higher and higher. So this time it was turned up and then you get a double pass and it was very spicy. I was like, okay, breathe through it. But I got a different like gal. I've had the same gal the whole time, but this time was a different gal and she's quick. But I
Mm.
don't know if I liked it quicker or not because
Interesting.
it was like I think when the other lady does it, it's painful, but she like zaps, and then she like puts something down on it to like,
Hold the
okay,
sting for a
yeah,
minute.
like, yeah, it takes
Yeah.
the thing away, but this is like zap. And I was like,
That sounds
okay,
more
breathe through
intense.
this. And then, but in some areas, I was like, okay, that was great because it was like sweet in and out. But then some areas, I was like, wow.
Oh
But
my
as
God.
far as the hair being gone, I haven't shaved. I haven't shaved like since the last time to this time. I didn't shave. There was hair growth in the areas that they don't overpass twice, but in the area that they did, I mean, maybe like one or two, and
Okay.
not even like it's growing back very finely. It's like not at all. I'm like smooth as a baby's bottom. My
Oh, because I keep telling same thing at my bikini waxer every time I go in, which is once a month. I get the full Brazilian. They're like, "You sure you don't want to buy a package?" Because I bought it one time because this girl just was pushing it. And then she gave me a special discount. But outside that, I'm like, no, I don't want to be tied into however many. I'm just literally waiting for the go. And my bikini waxer, they fill up really a lot around the holidays. So I'm sure like Valentine's-ish weekend is coming up. I don't know if your lady's busy, but I'm like, people are getting waxed around here, like Christmas, New Year's, all the holidays. They're getting ready.
yeah, they are ready.
Ah,
Um, Yeah, no, and I don't miss shaving at all. I thought I would because I didn't before. I was like, I'm all natural, but I don't miss it at all, you guys. I don't miss it at all.
Mm.
And you're
yeah.
supposed to like shave 24 to 48 hours before your appointment. And I'm like
Oh,
trying to shave like just for any hairs, just so they're not like the focal point of the zappy thing. I don't know. They tell me, but I don't really listen very well. And so, but I was like trying to shave and I was like, I don't freaking see anything. Like, I don't know if I got anything. I don't know if there's hair that's coming off this razor, but because it's doing very well.
How far apart are your appointments?
6 weeks.
Okay, because so with my bikini wax, mine are 4 weeks apart, which is like perfect. A couple months ago, I tried to stretch it past to 5 weeks and I was in pain. Like I'd never been there before. I was like, oh my God, I'm never doing that again. And she also went faster that day because she was busy. So that's why I was like, I know what you mean by that. Because she was I always go to the same gal and she was moving so quick. She had a full day. And so she didn't do her normal pat and hold to like seal the burn in. So I was like, damn, this is the most pain I've ever been in. 4 weeks is my max.
Okay, so you think it was like more tender because it was like as if you've never gotten it before. Like it was like you'd gotten waxed for the first time when you went longer.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. So I'm wondering, like, with your appointments, how long they are far apart because my hair grows so fast in that
Mm,
way. But if it's not growing back really at all due to the laser, we'll see. You're a test
yeah.
subject.
Yeah, so by the last session, I don't want to see any freaking little when they say like how's it going, I want to be like 99% gone. I want it to be 99% gone. But after the last session, if any hair comes up, they will still zap it for you.
Okay.
I think it's like at like $25, something like that, for this session. And I'm like, well, it should be freaking free since you told me it was
Yeah.
gonna be gone.
Exactly.
Um, but I really shouldn't have to go back. Like when
Okay.
you go to the other laser places, they're always like, oh, you have to come back like a few times a year. I
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
not have to go back a few times a year. Should be
Okay.
So
gone.
are they saying you should not have to come back like ever? Like
Right.
it
They
okay.
say, yeah, they say the only times that it happens is if like a new follicle that wasn't there when they zapped it before, somehow forms and a new hair comes out. Or if there was just like one, like they're like strays, they say, like stray hairs that just
Hmm.
didn't like hit the cycles correctly or whatever. And I'm like,
Interesting.
okay. I'd be fine if it was like a couple of stray hairs, but if it's like growing back all over or like, even if it's faint, that's a no.
Mhm.
That means you lied to me.
Yeah, exactly.
And then yeah, if it works, I think I'd go back and do my underarms. I might even just do them anyway
Ooh.
because even if like whatever's going on right down there, I would love for that to be happening underarms.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
So I'm
so
gonna work
over
on
it
it.
too. Yeah, I think my next appointment is right around Galentines, you guys. We've got our date. I'm excited for that weekend.
Yes.
So that's gonna be a good weekend, Miss Star.
That's
Yay.
gonna be so
We're gonna
fun.
work out. We've got Galentines, we've got brunch. And it's also Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
Yes.
It's Super Bowl weekend. It's the Phoenix Open in
Yeah, there's a
Arizona.
lot happening here.
February 6th, 7th is gonna be chaotic.
Oh my gosh. Wait, the Open is on the 6th and 7th this year?
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna go. So that's
Wow.
why for my
Oh,
event, yeah, because that Saturday is the 7th. Sorry,
okay.
7th. So for my event, I wanted to start it at like 10 or 11, but then when I realized it was the open, first of all, the whole reason why I put it on the 7th was because I wanted it to be a week before Valentine's, where all the stuff is going to be. So I was like, I want to be like, a little bit early, so I'm not competing with all these mercantile markets and whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, fuck, the open is this weekend and we're going to the open. So I'm like, let me make it a little bit earlier. So
Yeah.
9:30 is, if you can come work out, then go to the open and join us, ladies.
Wait, so it's at 9:30?
I had to move it up just
Okay.
30 minutes. 30
Okay.
minutes. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. Everyone's gonna have a blast.
I know. It's going to be so
Work
fun.
out in the nice weather, get out in the sun a little bit.
Mm, mm, mm.
Star's gonna put us to work.
Yes, she is.
Just, it's very beginner friendly, intermediate. No, I'm telling all the girls no weights. Obviously, we're gonna be outside. So in the future, hopefully I could partner with like a gym and we could do it with weights. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for you.
So yes, girl. I'm excited to also, because I think my cycle is coming up here in the next few days. Tell us about because aren't we're chatting cycle, all things cycle today.
Hmm.
Good, good, good.
Yeah. Specifically, I think like what you wanted to talk about, the cycle phases and okay.
Painful, yeah, because I know I still have mostly painful periods. And so I kind of wanted to talk about the different cycles and, things that might help women, or like my friend who was like, I'll just deal with it. Why we shouldn't say that.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
wait. Can we do that on a different one? Because I've
Yeah.
got a bunch of period talk for the
Okay.
next period
Yeah.
slash menstrual.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
So
do
are
a
we fine to
period.
just do cycles or the phase cycle phases?
Oh, so we're splitting it up. Gotcha.
Like you just said, you're gonna start your period soon, right?
Yes.
And I just got
I
off mine.
And you just got off yours. I also just got off mine. So did you bleed with the new moon?
I did.
Okay. Amazing. Love that for us. Okay. So I always like to explain the cycle phases of like technically we have two phases, which is follicular and luteal, because the follicle starts forming on day one of our period. But then it's broken up into like four phases because it's just a little bit easier. So we have menstruation, which is the days of our period, which days we bleed, follicular, or some people call it late follicular. And then ovulatory, which is kind of like the days leading up to ovulation and maybe like 1 or 2 days past that day, and then your luteal phase.
Okay.
So it's really two phases and then two events. Your period and ovulation are the events kind of thing. But if you break it up that way, it gives you kind of the more powers of your cycle, I like to call them. So in your menstrual phase, you're bleeding, but the follicle's also forming. When you're bleeding, your body's doing a lot energetically. Like that takes a lot of energy to do. But a lot of people feel energized at the same time. And typically it's because those hormones, both hormones drop. So sometimes you could just feel a little bit more energetic because progesterone's dropped. And so a lot of times people will do more on their period because they're like, I feel good. I have the energy. Even some women feel stronger, like in the
Yeah.
gym. I always say, even if you feel that way, go forth with caution. Because if you utilize all the energy your body needs to do what it's doing, you're going to probably feel exhausted afterwards,
Mm.
after your body's done doing that. So, like for me, I do feel energized and I do feel stronger in the gym, but if I overdo it, I am exhausted for like 3 days right after that like period window.
Hmm.
I feel
And
like
why
that's
I,
I
yeah,
am really exhausted.
yeah.
I probably over.
So the reason I say to do it with caution is because estrogen starts to climb after like days 4, 5, 6, it's starting to climb. And estrogen's like anabolic and it gives us energy and that kind of stuff. So if we've utilized everything that we could be utilizing now when it's advantageous, right? Like if it's more anabolic, I'm gonna not waste all my energy. I'm gonna relax. I'm still gonna go to the gym. I still like lift and all those kinds of things. But then when estrogen is climbing, I'm going to lift harder. And then I'm going to have more benefits from that because estrogen is present and allowing me to build muscle and those kinds of things. So I just say do it with caution. And if it doesn't change your energy, great, then, carry on with what you're doing. But if it does change your energy, I would take that time when it's less optimal, really, less beneficial, I guess, to go hard on things. I would just relax, chill. You go to the gym, lift your lifts, but don't get crazy with it. We're not hitting PRs. Don't overexhaust yourself running all 5,000 errands. Don't go running in the gym, doing cardio, those kinds of things if you're feeling exhausted the following days, so that when those days come, you do have energy and you can utilize those hormones as optimally as possible. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So then we get into the follicular phase, which is estrogen climbing. We have testosterone and progesterone are still just like chilling at the bottom. But um, this is typically well, let me say something about the period thing too. If you do feel exhausted and not energetic and not strong in the gym on your period, obviously rest, right? But also how we feed our bodies around that time is really important. We need to replenish the nutrients that our body is using to shed its lining. We need to replenish the nutrients that we are shedding through the lining, all of those kinds of things. So, making sure you're having really nutritious meals around that time can help that plateau of energy.
Mm,
So I like to do it like leading up to my period, on my period, and then like post period just to make sure everything is good and hearty in that time. I mean, of course, we typically us three, we already are eating pretty well, but I just go a little bit more ham on like my nutrients, my micros and things like that to make sure my body has enough vitamins it needs.
mm,
So that's just like a little tip for those who like do feel that energy dip after or during their period.
that's a really good one too.
Yeah. So then, sorry, the follicular phase is like an energetic time. It's also a very creative time. It's a very social time. Typically, that's when we start to kind of feel like everyone says they feel like themselves again. Like, oh, yeah, like this is great. And it is like you do feel like yourself, you feel vibrant, you want to socialize. So I always, encourage that. Like, go do your socializing around this time. You have the energy and we're more stress resilient during this time.
Mm,
So we can handle stress a little bit more. So when it comes to business and socializing and anything that takes that kind of energy, now's the time. Like book the meetings, do the presentations, get out there and market yourself this way or that way, make your content, that kind of thing. Or just write your content because whatever you write like right now is going to be like your perky, exciting, vibrant self. And then if you need to like record that content in the luteal phase, then you do, but at least you have the vibrant parts of
yeah, the
yourself.
creative side is done.
Yeah, creative side's done.
So all you have to do is
Um,
execute.
yeah, exactly. And then if you are like, exercise wise, I like say this is the time to amp it up. This is a great time to do like your cardio, your hit stuff too, because again, we are more stress resilient, so we can handle stress a bit more during this time. So go for it, but you're probably going to feel stronger or start feeling stronger and more um, capable, I guess, in the gym as well. Like you maybe just want to keep going, your energy is high, like this feels really freaking good. So utilize that time to the best of your abilities. I mean, estrogen's there, she's going to be anabolic for you, so you're going to be more in a more muscle building part of your cycle, which is obviously what, even if you're, I want to tone up, like now's your chance.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that phase. And that leads into the ovulatory phase. So there's no distinct phases, right? Because everything is ebbing and flowing. So estrogen is still climbing and testosterone will climb around this time as well. So now you also have the power of testosterone. During ovulation, it's your body's natural instinct to want to have a baby. So you are more attractive to everyone else. People are more attracted to you. Like in our faces change at different parts of our cycle. Our odor smell, like we smell different at different parts of our cycle, and we are attracted to different kinds of people in our cycle, in different phases of our cycle. So usually during ovulation and even like follicular phase, people are more attracted to you, become a little bit more magnetic. So dating could be really fun, but also a little bit risky. Okay, ladies, let's just keep it in our brains that you might not like that guy. He might just be ovulating or say you don't like him, he's just ovulating. Okay, make sure that you know the difference.
Rose-colored glasses are on that week.
You'll know real quick after you ovulate if you like that guy. So, but it is a great time too. Like if you wanted to go on a date with your partner, you wanted it to be fun and
Aw,
spicy and vibrant, you know what I mean? Like that's a
yeah.
great time. And it's a great time for your partner to know that too, because they know you have the energy to go do something fun. And so that could be really a great thing for them to know. I mean, they're obviously going to be in on that. They're going to want in on that because your libido typically will peak during this time as well.
Hmm.
So again, I would say anything that happens in the follicular phase as far as your creativity, your socializing, that kind of thing goes, remains in the ovulatory phase, maybe even perks up a little bit there too. But then, and then you could probably ride that wave out. I say that you ride the wave out because after you ovulate, progesterone's climbing and estrogen's falling. So you do have a little window still of that like ratio difference and that like peak of estrogen there and that little peak of testosterone. So
Hmm.
I'd ride that wave out as long as you can. You're also because of that testosterone peak too, we are a little bit stronger too. So this is like a prime time to hit PRs. And every time I'm like, gotta get in there. Leg day, gotta hit some PRs, like, and they feel so good. So it's a great time to do it. Again, ovulation is an inflammatory process. So take care of yourself after. Make sure that you are recovering well. Put yourself in a bath. Make sure that if you do hit those PRs or you are going a little bit harder, you're remembering that you are having inflammation in the body. And so if ovulation itself becomes painful, I would keep an eye on that one. And if it happens every time, I would start to reduce some inflammation around that time of your period. To as far as nutrition goes, again, I would surround that time with anti-inflammatory foods. Um, increase my omega-3s, that kind of thing, which is something I do around my period as well because of that inflammation process. So those two things being inflammatory means do anti-inflammatory things and increase anti-inflammatory, nutrients in your body.
And I can always tell too with by certain clients where, because I've started to ask them since having you on, was that almost a year and a half ago now with our girlies, our bear babes?
Uh,
And so now I also try to track it with them, or if they're not tracking, I at least encourage them to like start simply. I think I call it like my lazy girl cycle tracking. And I just like you put it in your calendar so you know when to expect it.
yeah,
And I can tell when their energy is just like, oh my God, I feel great today and I'm ready to lift. And it's just, it's wild. The changes throughout the month. And I'm like, I can see this.
yeah, yeah. I always know when I'm talking to my clients, I'm like, what day are you?
Yeah. What day?
What day are you? Let me guess. Why just guess?
Uh-huh. Well,
Um,
I think the phase you're about to talk about next is the one where I typically feel like, I don't know, just kind of like less confident. I'm just like, I don't feel like myself. And I thought it was literally just me. And I don't think I ever connected like the dots between it being my cycle until I started hearing other girlies kind of talk about how they feel during that part of their cycle. And they're like, these funny
yeah,
reels actually on it.
yeah. Yes, so then we get into the luteal phase, and this is probably the most problematic phase for everyone. This is when a majority of the symptoms will come up, especially the very common ones everyone talks about. Their mood's very low. We hear a lot about depression. It gets very, I would say, quote unquote, dark during this phase for a lot of women. The PMS, the irritability, the anxiety is heightened, the stress, all those kinds of things. And I really like to just reiterate that these are very common for a lot of women, but these are not normal things you should be experiencing. Um, they sh the ebb and flow should be ebbing and flowing. You should get into your luteal phase, and yes, there will be a distinct difference between your energy in the two phases, but it doesn't have to be such an awful time
Dramatic.
for you. Yeah,
Hmm.
it can be a very easy, like I remember the days because I used to be very, very depressed, a very dark place during my luteal phase. I would get very, very angry, um, fight with my partner for no reason. And then I just wanted to be alone all the time. Like I didn't want to move off the couch. I just wanted to be, no one talked to me. It could be, I could be sitting on the couch all day. It's light outside, it's dark outside. I wanted to be alone, just
Hmm.
by myself. Very, very depressing times. Um, the night and day difference from then to now is I can't imagine going back to like my luteal phases being like that. To where now I still feel like I have energy in my luteal phase. I know how to take care of myself in the luteal phase. I'm listening to my body in the luteal phase. I am I'm not having crazy mood swings. I'm not crying because I stepped on an ant. Like I feel exactly how I'm supposed to. I feel nurturing. I feel like calm. I want to take care of myself. I want to make sure that my body has what it needs, because that's really how you should be feeling. When progesterone climbs and is present, it is a feel good hormone. You should be feeling good about yourself. It's a hormone of safety. It wants you to feel safe. It thinks and hopes that you're going to have a baby. So it wants you to calm the hell down. And if you don't calm down, the symptoms will arise.
Mm.
The more you go against what your body naturally wants to do, the more you're going to see those negative side effects.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's why we see it so much, because so many women I mean, a lot of them don't have a choice. They have to work all the time. They have to take care of the kids. They have to do this. No one's helping them. They don't know that they can ask for help. They don't want to ask for help because it's so ingrained in our minds that we can't. But it's our body's natural response is we want to, we need to. And because progesterone makes us more stress sensitive, it affects us way more.
Mm.
Like we are more reactive to stress during this time. So anything that might have like not bothered us in the follicular phase bothers us more in the luteal phase, which is why it's like the boundaries have to be set. And it's something that this is the biggest phase I feel because it's so misunderstood. And progesterone is supposed to be like anti-inflammatory. It's also makes us a little more insulin resistant. So we have like a different vibe there. It also upticks our metabolism. So 100 to 300 calories more we're burning in our luteal phases. So we get a little hungrier, then plus the insulin resistance and those
Mhm.
cravings and that kind of thing. Like it's kind of a fun little web there. But I like to say that progesterone is like the bookworm's sister and estrogen is the party sister. So estrogen's been
Hmm.
partying for half your cycle. She's having a good old time. She's out there like feeling the vibes. And then progesterone's like, let me help you out here a second. You need to come home. You need to sit your ass in the room and we're gonna just chill, okay? Before you get in trouble and have to bail you out of jail. Like that's how I see these two hormones together. Progesterone should be a you should have more progesterone relevant to estrogen in this phase. A lot of times, if you don't, you get those estrogen dominant symptoms, are a lot of those pre-period symptoms that you get, the PMS, all those kinds of things, maybe tender breasts. Um, Maybe you get some more migraines, more headaches, that
Mm.
irritability, those mood swings, and that kind of thing. So the luteal phase is not just that hormonal shift. If it's out of whack, you're going to feel out of whack. But if you're also going against how you should be honoring your body during that time, you're going to feel out of whack. So it could be a combo of the two, it could be one and one, whatever it is. So that's a very big place that I think it's misunderstood and nobody honors their body properly in that phase.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Then as far as like exercising goes, progesterone is a calming hormone naturally on the body. Like it quite literally relaxes like our the muscles in our digestive system. So digestion slows. So you might feel a little bit more bloated. So you take care like that way, but it also can make you feel weaker
Hmm.
than you did in your follicular ovulatory phase. So I don't, again, like I'm a lifter, I'm going to be lifting through my entire cycle, but I've just learned to change some variables of that. So I like to do more like time under tension. So it's not as heavy as a weight that I'm using,
Mhm.
but I'm able to contract my muscles because that's typically where we don't see the strength come in. So if you slow the movements down, it's allowing your muscles to take a second and say like, oh yeah, we do work, we're here, contract, and then you actually like I always feel pretty freaking strong in those phases because of that. So it's really nice. Again, just don't burn yourself out. This is a very intuitive time for us as women as well. So it's a lot of inward looking. So I would do like a lot more journaling during this time. What repeated patterns are coming up for you during this time? What is making you pissed off? What is triggering you during that time? Because that pattern is like the veil is very thin here. It's like this is showing you the things that don't work in your life that truly bother you to your core, that your follicular sister was like, we'll brush it under the rug. No, we're not brushing it under the rug. If every single cycle your husband does the same thing to piss you off and you're not addressing that, you
Right.
should probably address that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Instead of just sweeping it under the rug and that kind of stuff, because it will always come up because this is the time of like truth. This is your
Hmm.
truth phase. So I think it's it is one of my favorite phases because of that. Like the clarity, the intuitiveness opens up. And once you like connect with yourself in that way, it's really freaking cool.
I love it. I
Yeah.
see Val over here is getting so tired. I'm
I
like,
am sorry. No, and it has nothing to do with Brit. I'm like,
no,
I
it's just that time of day for
had such
you.
a long day and I came straight to this, but
Yeah, girl.
I love listening to Brit talk because she's just so knowledgeable about all these things. And it honestly wasn't until maybe a year or two ago that I realized that first, the different phase cycles that we go through and how they affect our body. Like I literally had no idea, it's like you don't learn any of these things in school. It's like we just grow up, we're like, "Oh, we get our period. We're,
Hmm.
a BITCH for X amount of time and we want to eat everything in sight." And then you get off your period. You know what I mean? And then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's all rainbows and butterflies until you get on your period again. You know what I mean? It's like that's just how we thought it was, and it's like, well, no, there's all of these different phases, and
Yeah.
this is, and it's so interesting how Britt said, like, oh, in our luteal phase, most people get like down in the dumps and depressed and this and that. And it's so true because you hear everybody talk about that, but it's crazy that she said, but that's not how it's supposed to be. You're not
Hmm.
supposed to be feeling those things. And I was like, wow. That's crazy because everybody, like most people feel that way, but then you're telling me, but that's not the norm. Like that's not how it's supposed to actually be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's very important. Like I really try to make sure that the words I'm using, especially on like my account and my business and stuff, is common. This is a common occurrence because of how we were raised, how we were taught to learn about our bodies. And it is exactly that. We were never taught the phases. We were never taught that we have different hormones going through our body. We were always taught that it's just being a woman. You're supposed to
Hmm.
have painful periods. You are not. They are not supposed to be painful. You're not supposed to be keeled over on the floor, like in the fetal position. You're not supposed to feel that way. If we were honoring our bodies, if we were taught how to nourish our bodies, treat our bodies through different cycles, if we weren't made to act the same exact way every single day, our brains quite literally change through each phase of our cycle,
mhm.
which
That's
is
wild.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
It's crazy what they don't teach us. So,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
having a daughter, it's like I hate that narrative.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'm so glad that she doesn't like really love me talking about it to her, but I know like she hears and picks up on things and stuff. So she'll ask or say something and she'll come back home with stories about, oh, my friends have were talking about their periods and how painful they are, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, they're not supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like I'm glad that she's to some degree because she doesn't have to like deal with those things. And it hurts my heart to see other teens who like whose parents don't know yet.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay,
There
there you are.
it
Can
is.
you hear us?
Hi. Yes. I was just texting you. My internet went out for a minute.
Oh. Um, yeah, I hope that more parents find this stuff. I mean, it's out there because it's not like their fault if they don't know it. But it's also like if you do know it, that's what will really get me. If you do know it, if you follow me, if you follow anyone in this thing, and then I still see you doing shit things with your child, and I hear that your child's, feeling this way or that way, and you're refusing to think it has anything to do with their hormones, that will drive me batshit crazy
Mhm.
because it impacts them so greatly, especially as teenagers, because they're far more unpredictable as teens.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, so the conditions, please just keep in mind that different conditions matter. The PMDD, PCOS, endometriosis, adenomyosis, fibroids, all that stuff will make a difference in your cycle phases as well. But caring for your body will be, the key component there. And just trying to honor your cycle phases for sure. If you start there, if you don't want to start anywhere else, if you just know like, hey, I think, if my luteal phase, I'm supposed to be a little bit more mellow, just try to start setting boundaries during that time. And if your cycle's really wonky, you guys are gonna love this. Walk outside under the moon
Hmm.
every single night, whether you see the moon or not, the energy is there. If you, one, don't have a cycle right now and you want to kind of follow the cycle phases, you could start doing that with the new moon being like, you could make it whatever. You could make it ovulation, you can make it your period. Ovulation would be like your period or ovulation, whatever you didn't do. And just start doing that because that will influence your cycle. For those who are cycling, if you start to do that, you will see a shift in your cycle as well to line up a little bit more closely with the moon phases, which I think is fun.
Oh,
Yeah, that's my witchy stuff right there.
Well, thanks, girly. I always love, just hearing about all of this stuff. It's a really great refresher, and I think there are still so many people that don't know, or like just sometimes we need to hear it a few times before we like actually remember and start to apply, as with everything, nutrition and all the things. So this is really, really, really powerful, and it all just goes together. So
Yeah,
I
broad,
love it.
broad spectrum here. So if you guys want to dive in deeper, we can, if anyone is interested in diving in deeper with the phases, absolutely. But very important basic cycle phases for you guys.
love, love, love. Thank you so much, Britt. Always
You're
love
Yeah.
welcome.
learning from you, girl.
Thanks,
Mhm.
Sky.
Okay, ladies. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank
And
you.
please, if you're listening, we appreciate you. Thank you for being here as always. Don't forget to rate us, hit follow, get notified, and come hang out with us on IG. Our stuff is
Yes,
getting some eyeballs right now. So,
yes, it is.
All right, until next time.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.